We're gonna lose our voice commentating this.
He just full jumps across the stage. Please. What are you doing?
Please.
What are you doing?
Please!
Oh my God!
He has a family! He has a family!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Why isn't Edgar n0ne's Selby the best Smash Bros. Melee player in the world? He's fast.
Yes.
And it's insane to
Oh
watch.
my God! No,
Yeah.
He's difficult to predict.
That was insane. Yeah. Whoa!
And he legitimately scares other players. I agree with something Chillin' Dude said in 2019, that n0ne's Melee embodied in human form. More specifically, I believe n0ne embodies the true spirit of fighting games. And yet, he's never won an offline major tournament, and the highest he was ranked was on the 2022 Summer MPGR, where he was ranked 9th. Perhaps the better question is, why isn't n0ne the most consistent player in the world? During my research, I came across a set that may hold the answer. At Don't Park on the Grass 2016, n0ne, a Captain Falcon player, faces off against DizKid Boogie, an Ice Climbers player. Over the course of the set, DizKid Boogie wobbles n0ne 10 times. In the second game, n0ne goes Ganon, starts doing better, and begins taunting. In total, n0ne taunts 9 times. One time, he walks up slowly to DizKid, hops over him, and walks up slowly again.
This is not like a random event where you just say hi and bye to these people. You're gonna see him next week. And the week after this.
n0ne looks away from the screen 2 times during the set, and then in between games, he stops and tweets, "I'm getting wobbled in my favorite game. What do I do?" And then mid-game, gets up, unplugs his controller, and leaves the setup. In hindsight, that was as n0ne as anything n0ne has ever done. n0ne was born in Nicaragua, but spent much of his childhood growing up in Toronto, Canada, until his family moved back to Nicaragua when n0ne was 11. It was here where n0ne started to take Melee more seriously. The Melee scene in Nicaragua is small, with only around 6 or 7 players at the top level, but I believe it heavily informed the foundation of n0ne's gameplay and mindset. n0ne mains Captain Falcon and has a Ganondorf secondary. As a character, Captain Falcon somewhat mirrors his game of origin, F-Zero for the SNES. F-Zero was a racing game from the 90s that was notorious for speed. Sure, Outrun from 1986 was fast, but the speed of the racing in F-Zero felt almost deliberately out of control. Captain Falcon has the highest initial dash speed and run speed of any character in the game, as well as the longest dash dance length. This allows Falcon a number of movement options like overshooting his opponent, or using his dash dance to maneuver around what his opponent is throwing out. Falcon also has aerials that provide a number of great options. His neutral air has a pretty good hitbox at the edge of his foot. His back air has an even bigger hitbox and hits harder. And his up air has a hitbox at the tip of his foot that allows Falcon to challenge people in the air. And the knee. Falcon's knee is a kill device. If you don't DI it correctly, you die. If you DI in, Falcon may get a second hit, which could also lead to a kill. Falcon almost feels like a wrecking ball that's powerful when he hits but is difficult to control. n0ne's playstyle, at times, feels like an untethered wrecking ball that n0ne wields with uncanny deftness. He doesn't hesitate to follow his opponents deep off stage to edgeguard them, and his speed is overwhelming.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize how fast he is, and then they play him and they're kind of rattled.
Like, speed is not all about, just running fast.
Right.
The true speed of n0ne is that, like, he will stop for just a brief second and then keep going as if he never stopped.
Right there.
n0ne is also fearless.
What are you doing?
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Not just in the risky, all-out options he chooses, but in how he thinks about the game. For some players, Melee is a series of calculated, optimal engagements where you move or attack in such a way that you can't get hit. n0ne doesn't think like that.
He's willing to kind of play the game of chicken and like try to just hit the button at the perfect time. Even if his move will lose unless, he does hit it perfectly.
n0ne also heavily favors crouch canceling, which reduces hit stun and offers downwards DI. Combined with Falcon's relatively high weight, which gives him even greater resistance to knockback, allows n0ne to keep moving. In an AMA n0ne did on Reddit in 2016, When asked about his risky playstyle, n0ne responded that he didn't think it was, and that was simply the way they learned Melee back in Nicaragua. I couldn't corroborate this anywhere, but during a top 64 set of Genesis 5, one commentator claimed n0ne told him that in Nicaragua, they sometimes didn't play with shielding.
So basically what they had to do was they always played very aggressive because I think they banned shielding or whatnot.
That's so funny.
Thinking about this and watching n0ne play, I believe coming from a place where shielding was banned laid the groundwork of how n0ne makes his decisions. If you can't block, you can't stop. Ever. You'd have to be constantly moving and choosing options that led into other moves or, at worst, traded in potentially favorable ways. But I think the biggest part of how n0ne makes his decisions is his intuition. Whereas Hungrybox is a person empath, n0ne is more like a melee empath. It's almost as if n0ne has mapped the entire game in his mind. Its hitboxes, its frames, its rhythm. HBox needs to be next to you to feel your fear, but n0ne reads your fear in your gameplay.
I think that's kind of one of the defining qualities of n0ne as a player is just really, really good understanding of the hitboxes in this game, how long they last, where exactly they're going to be placed.
Yeah.
That's why you see him get all these crazy combos with unexpected moves, creative options that you wouldn't normally expect. Because
Just like that.
just like that, he's so in tune with the game, he knows that these moves are going to work when a lot of other people wouldn't think to do it.
Yeah.
This instinct doesn't seem to be limited to his own matches either. While commentating a Smash Summit 3 match between Hungrybox and Duck, n0ne suddenly says,
"Why am I nervous?"
And then seconds later, Duck back airs and kills HBox. Zoo, commentating alongside n0ne, asks how he knew. n0ne simply says he felt like something was going to happen. In that game, Duck hadn't yet used a back air to eliminate any of Hungrybox's stocks, and while Duck threw out a few back airs at HBox before losing his own stock, n0ne's read on the timing of Duck's attack speaks to n0ne's intuition. While other melee players can see the tiger crouch, n0ne sees the glint in the tiger's eye before it strikes. n0ne relies on instinct so much that, after a match, he frequently can't tell you anything about it. n0ne says he just reacts. He doesn't know what's happening. He just plays the game. When you describe n0ne like this, he seems like the perfect fighting game animal. If in fact n0ne were a tiger, he would be an excellent predator. But Melee isn't a jungle. Players aren't animals. And as n0ne himself says,
humanity comes out. And,
Yeah, it does.
I mean, and it's true. That's a thing in fighting games, you know.
and the human side of n0ne has a lot of rules.
Yeah, he's got a lot of opinions on like what's proper.
Yeah, like he looks at them as hard rules. Like you're
Yeah.
not allowed to up tilt to edge guard and scalp.
He told me in his own words last night that Falcon punching is the lamest thing you can do with Falcon.
Not really a tech chase heavy Falcon, at least like not the 20GX style of tech
He
chasing.
hates it. He absolutely hates it. Okay.
Oh, no meter cancel?
Wow.
He's so
Oh.
disappointed in himself.
Yeah.
He told me literally if you die from a meteor cancelable move in tournament, that's worse than getting 4-stocked. You should just unplug your controller.
Oh, wow.
It's n0ne's fatal flaw for not being willing to just hold a ledge.
His gamertag, n0ne, is also related to one of those rules. It's pronounced n0ne, but its meaning is no knee. n0ne doesn't like when Captain Falcon players rely on knee. Once, back in Nicaragua, a top player used Captain Falcon and kneed n0ne 15 times in a set. n0ne then selected Captain Falcon in the next game to prove a point, that you can win without using knee. n0ne doesn't say you can't use knee. Instead, n0ne prefers uniqueness in gameplay.
It's very true. Oh no. 2 stomps, 3 stomps, 4 stomps,
Oh my
5
god.
stomps.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! What?
In an interview with Red Bull in 2017, n0ne said, "I admire uniqueness in every sense of the word. You can be original almost 100% of the time, as long as you think outside of the box. I feel like fighting games have an inherent honor system to them. When I started playing Street Fighter 2 with my friend when I was a kid, one day he told me that throwing was cheap. The internet wasn't really a thing back then, and he didn't have a lot of people he played with, so he came to this conclusion on his own. He simply saw that throwing in the game was easy to do and, at least to our understanding, difficult to counter, and automatically deemed this dishonorable, cheap, or lame. Almost as if the game were programmed with a flaw that made it easier to defeat someone, the proper thing to do would be to ignore that flaw and refuse to use it. The problem n0ne runs into, from time to time, is that these philosophies or beliefs can hurt him, not just in the optimal, guaranteed options he ignores, but when his opponents disobey them.
And he remarked that he felt like n0ne's can be prone to tilting, especially when the opponent is using one option over and over that he feels like is spammy. I mean, we've all seen him complain about getting wobbled and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
It does seem, however, like some of n0ne's rules these days aren't as hard as they appear or have changed. Even earlier in his career, when n0ne said he wouldn't grab ledge, if he had to make a comeback or saw no other way to follow up, he would grab the ledge. And he holds the ledge all the time now. Despite these potential inconsistencies, n0ne has so many tools at his disposal that, in a lot of ways, his rules don't matter. Because n0ne has such good instincts, and because his speed tends to overwhelm his opponents, n0ne is extremely good at reading what defensive options you're going to do, particularly when you're under pressure. And his information conditions his opponents into choosing other options, or forcing them into specific ones. This is why, as sets go on, n0ne seems to get better and better.
I honestly feel like it's not as much guessing as we might think. Like, he knows something that we don't, man.
Yeah,
like he's got an instinct, man, which is instinct is typically based on facts. Right. It's based on data that you're collecting. And I think this man was a madman at adapting and collecting info, because that's why he's the clutch master, right? You can be way ahead, and at the end, all of a sudden, he's calling everything out. It's not because he's guessing right that many times. Well, he's just got everything.
Yeah, you're right.
He's got all the data.
A fun way I heard someone describe it is, I forget who said it, but they were like, they were talking to n0ne, and they called tech chasing down throw guess, and n0ne got mad. He's like, if you think it's guessing, you don't know anything about fighting games.
I agree. Completely agree.
So
you know what it is? It's conditioning.
Ultimately, n0ne remains wholeheartedly true to himself.
He stayed so true to himself as he got good.
He did.
I feel like everyone thought, well, eventually n0ne's going to have to do the things everyone else is doing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have to stop this shenanigans. He can't always be faster.
Everyone in Canada told him this shit. Yeah, Kirby Kaze and Ryan Ford, they're all like, yeah, you got to stop playing like an idiot.
Like a psychopath.
You just did.
One of the things that n0ne is famous for is his stone face while competing. He'll do the wildest combo and his face will show no reaction, as though n0ne has no emotion at all. But that's not the case. n0ne admits that at times during matches, he does feel tension, and that when the set is over, that tension is released. More specifically and beautifully, n0ne says that he takes the emotions that he feels and transforms them. After all, in fighting games, humanity comes out. So instead of denying or ignoring these emotions, n0ne uses it. He makes it part of his gameplay. The same way a dancer would incorporate emotion into their dance, or a musician would imbue their emotion into their music. I think that in part is why people connect with n0ne so well. He plays with the entirety of his being, his heart. And his heart is nuts.
Jeez, you can go for the edge.
Oh my God!
And he gets the knee!
What a read!
Similar to Mango, n0ne feeds off the crowd. One commentator even called him a momentum generator.
Oh my God! Dude!
Because n0ne's moves are so surprising to everyone else, and because he executes them completely naturally and without hesitation, he preys on the crowd's knowledge of the game. They know how risky, how absolutely psychotic the options n0ne is choosing are. Like n0ne's opponents, the crowd is unprepared for n0ne's tactics, and can't help but react to them. And the more hype the crowd gets, the better n0ne plays, almost absorbing that emotion and making it a part of his gameplay.
Does he kick a Shy Guy?
Oh wow, Randall to the rescue, but he gets shined anyways. Oh, the hug brings him back, but it's Trill Crush. It's still in a good position. He gets a grab to follow up, but a stop coming through, two of them. It's n0ne, and he gets it.
That game is nuts! He Falcon kicked the Shy Guy!
In this respect, n0ne is Melee's spirit bomb. He pushes the game beyond its limits, beyond our traditional optimal understanding of the game, because deep down, every single one of us wants to always believe there's more Melee to be played. One time I saw this video by Hugs. In it, he postulated, if aliens were to come to Earth and for some reason knew about and wanted to challenge us to a game of Melee, and said, send your best player and we'll send ours. If you win, we leave. If you lose, the Earth will be destroyed. The point of the video was to consider who would be the most reliable player to send to assure our victory and humanity's survival. Hugs makes a list. Players he would send and players he wouldn't send. On the would send list are players like Armada. On the wouldn't send list is none. At the time, I agreed with Hugs. But not anymore. I would send none, and I wouldn't consider sending anyone else. Maybe it's the Captain Falcon in me, but win or lose, this is what I want the aliens to say about us. Did you see this maniac they sent against us? We studied every single game of Super Smash Bros. Melee. We ensured our gameplay was the most optimal possible. And this madman SD'd 3 times with the entire human race on the line. But more than that, he somehow, by the end, learned what we were going to do. He could not be contained by our programming. His heart, his will, broke free. We have never seen such reckless fire in a species before. Humans may indeed be foolish, but their will to live, their desire to express themselves was so strong that they were willing to die for it. That's how I would want to die. Proud and expressing myself. Or that's how I would want to live, with my hands raised, or holding my loved ones in rapturous joy, jumping so high I think my soul might leave my body, because Melee is sick, and none saved us all.
Yeah, that was so unnecessary, but I'm kind of glad he did.
I'm a little bit glad too, but he didn't need to.
I feel like that's just kind of like the title of Nun's autobiography. Like, you didn't need to do that, Edgar. He does that kind of stuff so much, but it's beautiful.
With a foreword by Nun.
Yeah.
And then you open up the book and it just says, but I did.